Oh crap, copyright claim. Oh, we got some updates for you. Haven't done much. We got a sick dog. So anyways, we have a new washer. Our other one blew its tranny. The gears inside just shredded. So we got this hot point. We did get a Maytag. It's a Centennial. Commercial technology. Absolute rubbish. So I get it, right? Hook it up. All goes well. Got the faucets on full. I put it on. First I had to figure out how to get it on the fill. And it started filling, but very badly. Like it looked like, you know, some guy was in there just pissing in there to fill it up. So a wide lid, small hole. Check this out. I mean, it doesn't take that much to move this around. That one there is just how it should be. It has a safety interlock, so when you start it, it goes into the spin. It will lock the lid, and if your load is unbalanced and you try and open this, it will not open. And if you try and unlock it, it will. Well, we would press this button like twice, or once or twice, it wouldn't unlock. So we'd hold it to cancel. It would clear the whole cycle, and then it would go back to wash again, and then it would unlock. So absolute garbage. Takes over an hour to do a load. This guy here, about 30 minutes ago, I started this load, and it's just now finishing. So this was $500, free delivery. Refused to hook it up. This was $429 plus $30 to deliver it. Still refused to hook it up. But this ended up being $20 cheaper than that. This is quieter. It has a small lid, wide mouth. Like really? And this is, you know, it still moves around, but it's not near as easy as that one. So, and now my uniforms and clothes and my gloves that I wear at work are just beautifully clean. I mean, the little staining here, you'll never get that out because the material that's soaked in it. What we have at work is very nasty, slurry cutting media that just, when it stains something like white, if it stains it, it's gonna stay that color. It is going to stay a funky ass color. Now, along with the bunch of stuff we had around the house and the old washer and a dryer I picked up from scrapping, we took it all to the scrapyard. Along with that, Adam had some old rims that were from his new car that he got. They were shitty. We got, for all the miscellaneous steel, dirty steel, we got, or tin or whatever. It was like $26, and this is hardly anything. This is like just enough to kind of fill up an area in my truck. And it was $26. And then the other thing was the rims, the aluminum, and the motor I took out of the washer. All that stuff was $36 for dirty aluminum and Briggs & Stratton engine and everything. It was ended up being almost $60 for a small load, and I think it was let's see, the truck plus all the stuff, when we weighed it, was 4,800 pounds. And then after we did it, we ended up being like, I don't have to look at my receipt again to see how much weight it was exactly, but we got a pretty decent payout for having such a kind of a weak load. It really wasn't that much stuff. It was just a washer and dryer and some miscellaneous bullshit. I mean, you know, the back of my truck didn't even sit down when I put all that stuff in there. I mean, that's how it sat with that load in there. So maybe the airbags got 5 psi in them, but not a whole lot. Hi there. I had to buy something for my computer. Nothing wrong with my old cooler, except for the fact that my CPU runs at about 40 degrees Celsius at idle. And the cooler gets, it's a pretty thin cooler, so it gets pretty hot real quick. So I decided to get this fatty guy here, and so far I like it a lot. First of all, the cooler on it, which you can actually see it right here. Hey, that's how it pretty much is set up in here. It's got the fat tubes. You can change the color on the freaking thing. As you can tell, there's a USB cable there. You can control it through this little Corsair Link 2. I'm all over the place, but right now I've kind of messed with my computer a little bit, put it on energy saving stuff, and you know, only use a certain amount of power when needed. And there's no change in performance. It runs exactly the same as it was on max settings, so I just kind of been running it like that. And so my temperatures are anywhere at idle between 17 and 25 degrees Celsius. It's actually dropping down. So CPU temp, and then it has the temperature of the water that's in the cooler, and then it comes with these two fans. As you can tell, I got two, and those can be changed. The speeds of those can be changed through this thing here independently. And you can change the color of this. This was in a pulse, so it just kind of went to pink, which is real convenient. But you can change it to any freaking color you want. I'll have to excuse my messy desk. Let me get some light in here, maybe. No light. You don't need light. So yeah, I had to add a fan for my video card. It's been running pretty hot. So there's the cooler. It's actually a little bit quieter than the other guy. Right now I've got the LED lights off on the motherboard, and the LED is off on the cooler or the water block. But basically, you're given this cable that plugs into the water block, and then it hooks up to your two fans, and both these fans are 4-pin, and which is kind of nice because you can change them out with other ones if you needed to. But for right now, it's running medium speed. There's a decent amount of air coming through. They're actually kind of on they're half their speed, so the airflow is pretty low. But 16 degrees. This is the temperature of this radiator is about the same as what it was when it came out of the box when it was off. And these big tubes are really nice because they provide extra flow, and those actually take longer to heat up too, so there's less heat transfer, or the hoses will soak up the heat as it comes through, so it'll be pretty damn cool as it comes through the radiator. But I really like this setup. It was well worth the $100 I spent for it. I know my computer looks a little crowded, but you know what? Nobody can see through the side of it, so I don't care. But I put my other fan here so that my video card could get some extra air, and it's running pretty decent. But what I want to do is I'm going to take my old water cooler and modify it so that I can put a water block on my video card, and then I'm going to run a custom cooling system for it. It'll be an external system, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's a little radical, but I think it's going to work. So the coolant that came out of these is basically a yellow antifreeze. It smells just like antifreeze that you'd buy for your car. But what I did is I drained it out, and then I drained it out by taking the pump apart. But you can cut the hoses if you want. But the actual hose that pulls liquid is, you would think it was this one, but you'd be wrong. It's actually this guy here sucks fluid in, and then this one here is your return, which goes into your radiator. So what I've thought about doing is having it set up where I'll put a couple holes in this jug, and then put the two hoses in there, and then a tight fit, and then seal them up, and then put a cap on it. what I was thinking about doing is having this full of antifreeze. I'll probably just use this. I mean, it's pretty cheap stuff compared to what you gotta buy at the store or online store. But I mean, it's the same stuff, smells the same. It's just a little bit different application. So what I was thinking is having one of these tubes all the way at the bottom where it's gonna be cool. This is my theory. And then what it'll do is it will suck. I've already tried it with this hose in at the bottom. It doesn't matter where it's at. I've put 12 volts to this, and I've had it suck coolant from the bottom, and then it comes out this tube, goes into this. This I bought for my Explorer, never used it, but this is a big ass transmission cooler, but never had any oil in it, so it's a little beat up, but it'll work. But so anyways, I set it up where it would run coolant through here, and it works great. It's pretty free flowing. It's not restrictive like this one, or at least I think it's not. But so fluids come through here. It pushes it through here actually at the same rate that it does on this. So that's kind of cool actually. No pun intended. So it pushes it through, it comes back, goes down into the jug, but it'll dump it at the top. I'll have this hose, or whatever one I'll use, somewhat submerged at the top, but the one that actually pulls the fluid will be at the bottom. And then sealed off. So my hope is that it pulls in already cool fluid, runs it through the water block, takes the heat away, goes through the pump, and then goes to the radiator, gets cooled by two 120 millimeter fans, which I think will fit on here. If not, we'll do a 140 in the center. And then it'll come out cooled off, and then it'll go back into the jug, which will be cooled off even more, because I'm pretty certain that this amount of fluid, a gallon of fluid, would be quite a challenge for any video card to heat up. But this is my theory. I could be wrong. Don't troll me or anything. But what we'll end up doing is I'm gonna get paid. I'm gonna order a water block, a universal one for my video card. We'll get it mounted on there, get some chipset heat sinks on there, and then we will rig up the system. We'll test it for leaks and stuff, and try it out. But all the tubing that is connected, like I have it here, this is gonna be, I don't know, I wonder if it's leaking, but actually it's probably when this hose got wet. But what we'll do is I'll make all this stuff will be external and will be placed in a bucket, so that if it does leak, it just leaks out into the bucket and not onto the floor. But there'll only be two connections in the computer itself. Will just be the ones with the fittings, and they should be fairly leak-free. We'll do some waterproofing so that it doesn't leak and just get everywhere and kill my computer. If it took out the power supply, I wouldn't care, because that's the only thing that's down at the bottom. But I think we're gonna give it a try. The bottom of this cup, which is how much was in there, was able to keep my CPU fairly cool. This amount should keep that video card ice cold.